Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum to all. Welcome to Virtual Learning System of Pakistan International School Time. Dear students, today we will complete our previous lesson and complete the remaining topics. So let's start our topic, cold-blooded and warm-blooded. But before that, let's repeat the important points related to this topic. So you all open your books and come on page number 21. Here we revise, first of all, vertebrates and invertebrates. Dear students, in animal kingdoms, all the animals are divided into two major groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. Invertebrates are those animals they do not have backbone, like insects, worms, and vertebrates are those animals they have a backbone, like fish, amphibians, reptiles, etc. So here you see the definition of vertebrates. Vertebrates are animals that have a backbone. The backbone consists of ring-like bones that protect the soft spinal cord. Vertebrates can be warm-blooded like humans or birds, or cold-blooded like fish, amphibians, and reptiles. So vertebrates includes amphibians, fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. I hope you remember these five groups of vertebrates: amphibians, fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Again, here you see the vertebrates, which animals which have backbone. Invertebrates, animals without backbone. Warm-blooded animals are those animals which can control their temperature, and cold-blooded animals which cannot control their temperature. Cold-blooded animals take on the temperature of their surroundings. They are hot when their environment is hot and cold when their environment is cold. Warm-blooded animals maintain a constant body temperature. This means that they do not depend upon the temperature of their environment. So you must remember that warm-blooded animals which can control their temperature and cold-blooded animals which cannot control their temperature. So let's discuss in detail. Here again you see the warm-blooded animals. Their body temperature stays the same when it is cold or hot outside. Cold-blooded animals, their body temperature depends on whether it's cold or hot outside. So keep remember the definition of warm-blooded and cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded vertebrates depend on their surroundings to keep their body temperature. When there is no sun and the air is cold, the animal gets cold. When it is sunny or hot, the animal gets hot and generally more active. Again, we revise. Cold-blooded vertebrates or cold-blooded animals depend on their surroundings to keep their body temperature. When there is no sun and the air is cold, the animal gets cold. When it is sunny and hot, the animal gets hot and generally more active. Again, cold-blooded animals like reptiles, amphibians, and fish become hotter and colder depending on their temperature outside. For example, when the sun sets at night, their bodies are cooler because it is less warm outside. When the sun is out, however, their bodies soak up the heat and become warmer. Keep remember the definition of cold-blooded animals like reptiles, amphibians, and fish are cold-blooded and they become hotter and colder depending on their temperature outside. For example, when the sun sets at night, their bodies are cooler because it is less warm outside. When the sun is out, however, their bodies soak up the heat and become warmer outside. Warm-blooded. Warm-blooded animals, mammals, and birds are warm-blooded. Reptiles, amphibians, and fish are cold-blooded. Mammals and birds are warm-blooded, which means that they can make their own body heat even when it is cold outside. Whether it is sunny and hot outside, or there is a snowstorm, or it is very cold. Warm blooded animals have body temperature that usually stay the same. Again, we repeat mammals and birds are warm blooded, reptiles, amphibians, and fish are cold blooded, which means that they can make their own body heat even when it is cold outside. They become hotter and colder depending on their temperature outside. Cold blooded animals become hotter and colder depending on their temperature outside, and warm blooded animals they can make their own body heat even when it is cold outside. Whether it is sunny and hot outside or there is snowstorm and it is very cold, warm blooded animals have body temperature that usually stay the same. Here you see the examples of cold blooded animals: fish, reptiles, snake, reptiles, lizard, amphibians, alligator, frog, amphibian, crocodile, amphibian. So fish, reptiles, and amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Must be remember, fish, reptiles, amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Warm and cold-blooded animals. Warm-blooded, only two kinds of vertebrates, birds and mammals, are warm-blooded. Their blood and body stay the same temperature no matter how cold or hot their surroundings are. These animals become ill or die if their body temperature changes very much. Cold-blooded, almost all animals are cold-blooded. The temperature of their blood and body changes when their surroundings become warmer or colder. I hope you understand very well about warm and cold-blooded animals, disadvantages and advantages of warm-blooded animals. Given that the majority of energy used is in generating heat, warm-blooded animals must consume large amount of food, and cold-blooded animals use less energy. Also, because of their high body temperature, it is easier for parasites, viruses, and bacteria to infect warm-blooded animals. This is very important point. Also, because of their high body temperature, it is easier for parasites, viruses, and bacteria to infect warm-blooded animals. Advantages: since mammals and birds can maintain a constant internal body temperature, they can actively live just about anywhere. As a result of being more they infection, they are inclined to have a better immunity to disease. Here you see, as a result of being more susceptible to infection, they are inclined to have a better immunity to disease. So here you see the disadvantages and advantages of warm-blooded animals. The five groups of vertebrates. All of you know that fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. These are the five groups of vertebrates. Here you see the some examples. Fish, tuna, shark, whale are the examples of fish. Amphibians, frog, salamander are the examples of amphibians. Reptiles, snake, crocodile, and turtle are the examples of reptiles. Birds, pigeon, hen, sparrow, owl, seagull is the example of birds. Mammals, dog, cat, camels, horse, cow, lion are the examples of mammals. Again, here you see whale, tuna, shark are the example of fish. Frog, newt, salamander is example of amphibian. Snake, crocodile, and turtle are the example of reptile. Pigeon, hen, sparrow, owl, seagull are the example of birds. Dog, cat, camel, horse, cow, lion are the examples of mammals. Cold-blooded fish, cold-blooded animals. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals. We already discussed in detail. Bird, warm-blooded animals. Mammals, warm-blooded animals. Fish, their body covered with scales. Amphibian skin, moist, slippery skin. Reptile, dry skin covered with scales. Birds, skin covered with feathers. Mammals, body covered with hair. Fish body covered with scales. Amphibian skin is moist and slippery. Reptiles, dry skin covered with scales. Birds body covered with feathers and mammals body covered with hair. Habitat: fish live and reproduce in water. Amphibians can live on land and in water. Reptiles, some live in water and some live on land. Birds, most live on land. Mammal, most live on land. Breathe through: fish breathe through gills. Amphibians, their skin and lungs. When the amphibians are in water, they breathe with the help of skin. And when the amphibians are on land, they breathe with the help of lungs. Reptiles breathe with the help of lungs. Birds breathe with the help of lungs, and mammals also breathe with the help of lungs. Reproduced by fish laying eggs in water, amphibians laying eggs in water, reptiles laying eggs on land, birds laying hard-shelled eggs on land, mammals giving birth to live babies. Fish reproduce by laying eggs in water. Amphibians reproduce by laying eggs in water. Reptiles reproduce by laying eggs on land. Birds reproduce by laying hard-shelled eggs on land. And mammals reproduce by giving birth to live babies. Dear students, I hope you understand this chapter very well. And you will all read this lesson well and do the given homework well. Okay, dear students, best of luck.